Hi Enneagram 6s, Susan Storm here, and today I want to talk about stress. So how does it affect you as an Enneagram 6, and what can you do that isn't your autopilot method of just panicking and worrying and trying to manage and control it all? So first off, I want to say 6s, you are some of the most incredible people I've known. You're funny, you're attentive, you're a good, loyal friend, and there's just so many things that you do for other people that often go unnoticed, and this is just something I've personally experienced. So the fact that you all deal with so much anxiety and stress is something that I really care about, and one of the reasons I wanted to hop on here and just make a quick video about it. What causes stress in the first place? So as a 6, uncertainty is your arch nemesis. Uncertainty is often the root cause of a lot of your anxiety. The feeling that you don't really know what's going to happen, and so your mind is constantly going to try to fill in all the terrible possibilities that could happen so that you can come up with a plan or so that you can come up with a strategy. And if you sit down for even a moment and just try to relax, a lot of times your brain will try to drown you in all these negative possibilities of things that could go wrong so that you can prepare. And some part of you feels irresponsible if you do just relax, because what if catastrophe hits and you didn't have a plan and everything falls through? As someone who also has PTSD and anxiety, I totally relate to this. In fact, I thought I wasn't 6 for many years just because I have anxiety. But this is something that just makes it really hard for you to enjoy the moment, to really get into the day and approach the day with an attitude of contentment and peace. Instead, you tend to approach the day in an immediate troubleshooting, crisis averting mode. Even if there isn't an immediate crisis, it always feels like there's a crisis right on the horizon. What you normally do as a 6 is just become more 6-ish right away. So when stress hits, you just start you troubleshooting. You start imagining all the things that could go wrong and trying to figure out ways you could fix it. You might try seeking out support from your community or from guides or mentors that you trust. You might vent to a friend and just blurt out everything to them. Now, if stress doesn't tend to get better, if it doesn't improve, which it often doesn't because there is always another terrible thing that could happen, what happens is you tend to disintegrate to 3. And so when that happens, you become more focused on your appearance. Well, how do you look to other people? What if your support systems fail because you're panicking too much? So you start trying to seem really competent. You try working really hard to make sure everything's good and that you've got this all under control and that everyone can see, hey, I've got this, it's going to be okay, I'm confident and I've got it all together. But really inside you're feeling pretty overwhelmed. What you really need to do is going to feel very counterintuitive to you as a 6, because it feels very responsible to panic and worry. I relate to this because I'm definitely been there with my own anxiety issues. It feels like if I let go of this anxiety and worry, then I will have let everyone down, because this is something terrible is gonna fall apart that I didn't foresee, that I didn't prepare for. And it's just really hard to get out of your head and into your body. But some of the hardest things we have to do are some of the most beneficial things we can do. So integrating to 9 is about working on becoming present and grounded and relaxed. And that just feels really hard when you're in the midst of stress. But this is why you can practice this in little bite-sized portions throughout the day. So 1, meditation. I know I always bring this up because it's just the answer to a lot of things. A lot of the stress, the worry, the pain that we go through in life is because we are overthinking things in our own head, and we're becoming out of touch with our body and the present moment, and we're not mindful. So we spend maybe 20% of our lives worrying about things that don't ever happen. But we will remind ourselves of the 5% of times that we worried about something did happen and we prepared. Meditation helps you to actually breathe, focus on your body, relax, calm your mind. And it's going to be hard at first if you're a 6 who has never meditated. Meditation has been really difficult for me because you sit down and you quiet everything down and all of a sudden your mind is full of things to do or worries to worry about. But again, with practice comes mastery. Really have to try to make some time. Start small, like be like, I'm going to start by just trying to meditate 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes or an hour. Just start with 5 minutes and try to do this a few times a week, and then, stretch it out a little bit, make it 7 minutes, then 10. And notice your body and how your body feels. You can use guided meditations. There's tons of guided meditations on YouTube or apps like Calm. Really focus on grounding yourself in your body. Another way that you can get grounded in your body is by actually being in nature, but not just taking a walk and worrying about things, but like being outside and noticing how the ground feels beneath your toes, and noticing how the breeze feels on your fingertips or in your hair. Really taking in the sounds, the sights, the smells, and getting in touch with your senses and the actual earth under your feet. This is actually a really healing process for you. And I don't know anything about like earthing and things like that. I just know that getting in touch with nature, pulling outside of just your frantic thoughts, but into the physical world, is a really big step towards integrating 2-9. Another way to integrate 2-9 is to actually find a mental place that feels very peaceful and practice going there when your thoughts are getting carried away. So it could be a forest, it could be a place you once lived, it could be a room in your house, it could be a fantasy world that you love, like if you're into Harry Potter, it could be Hogwarts. But just practice closing your eyes and visualizing that place while you take deep breaths. This will help you to calm your body and slow down that like rush of cortisol and that heightened stress that you're feeling. Another thing you can do is focus on what could go right in a situation instead of just what could go wrong. Your mind tends to brainstorm all the things that could go wrong in a situation, but actually practice brainstorming the ways that things could go right in a situation. Like, yeah, you might go to this social event, and normally your mind might be thinking, oh, I'll make a big fool of myself, everyone will hate me, I'll say something stupid. Instead, think about, I'll go to this social event, I'll say a few words to this person, we'll start having conversation, I'll walk away feeling closer to people and more connected to my community. Try to, just as much as you naturally brainstorm negative outcomes, try to also play with positive outcomes. And as you practice doing that, you will start finding yourself becoming more optimistic and becoming happier because your mind isn't constantly in that negative headspace. So I know this was just really basic. I've got more in my article on psychologyjunkie.com. You can read that article. I just published it today on sixes and stress. But if you have any thoughts or comments, just go ahead and leave those in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And thanks for joining me today. Bye, everybody.